Pt.2, this is part 2 of Numerology Decodes the Matrix. I left off talking about racism, and I'm not done with it. I feel I have every right, since I own both black and white bloodlines. And so what I want to say is that certain injustices and prejudice and austerities were done in each racial culture in their own backyard. This is nothing new. It's just that when we got together in a nation as diverse as this, that this insanity became institutionalized. And so the program is supposed to make us angry and keep us in fear or in checkmate of each other. And this is how it draws from our energy. Because we don't know that we're operating under a global Willie Lynch syndrome. There was a letter called the Willie Lynch letter that was given to a plantation owner in order how to control his African slaves. How that was done is having preferential treatment between the lighter slaves and the darker slaves. And so this has manifested perfectly within our world, to the point that we are believing that bleached skin, such as what people are doing in Asia and India, and also African Americans, that a recessive skin, or should I say recessive genes, and a pale skin, or being less melanated, makes you more beautiful than someone who is melanin dominant. And so here we have played into the Willie Lynch global idiocy, because we practice a fallacy of racial superiority, and to believe that the white man can say, I'm racially superior, by using a book, The Bell Curve Theory, because I'm genetically melanated recessive. And the black man, he might come back and say, I don't have a book on the Bell Curve Theory, but you have ascertained that because I am melanin dominated, that I am the first original man on the planet. And thus I am your progenitor. You are my offspring. And what is interesting is that this may be so. There is no superiority in the flesh. The flesh is dust. The only thing that's superior is our spirits. Our spirits are immortal. They are eternal. And this is why we can't go forward into a more elevated or ascendant way of living, because we're held down with the 3D illusions dealing with race. Another thing too is that the program is a script that continues to run. So when we look at the news and we see that a black man has assaulted a white woman in an elevator to get her purse, or that a black man has pushed someone off of a subway into a train, or that a white man has lynched a black man, or that a white policeman has assaulted a young black youth, this raises the barometer of our hate. And we are constantly having our energy taken by the matrix, because it's dealing with a Hegelian principle of we're going to cause something, but we're going to give you the solution, but the effect is what drains us. And so I want to move on and talk about sexism, and in some aspects that ties into racism. But sexism is number 26, which is also 8. And it deals with the subjugation of the female. It deals with the subjugation of the female, and it also deals with reproductive rights, because when we're talking about racism, we're talking about population control. We're talking about me against them, or the fact that, in 2050 there might be more Mexicans. They'll have the ethnic majority here. And so we have a lot of fear. We have a fear of being genetically annihilated. And so what's interesting is that there are Georgia guidestones in Georgia that looks like Stonehenge, and it has been written that only 500,000 people are needed for humanity to have a earth that is self-sustaining for us. And we have over 1 billion people. So the matrix is using biological warfare and genetically modified food to help reduce surplus population. What's interesting is that the word womb is 17 in the Pythagorean method, but in the matrix, that number is 17 as well. So you see how this is tied into the artificial matrix paradigm, that there's not enough space on planet Earth. There's not enough food. We need to weed out the surplus population. It's always about things that are negative. And this is how you can tell the vibration of the matrix, is that it always keeps you stressed out. There's always something wrong. There's never anything right. It's always for or against something. So I also wanted to look at the word amnesia, number 26, 8, and then the word unreal, and tie that back into the artificial, which I said was number 7, dealing with deception, secrets, and illusion. Well, I also found the word agents of the matrix is number 79. 7 plus 9 is 16, and 6 plus 1 gives you 7. So it all ties in there that we're in here and we can't remember who we are. And so it's meant to keep us continually busy in the different theaters so that we don't have time to think. This is what the entertainment does. It comes in, so we're entertaining ourselves instead of becoming gods and divinity that we are by our birthright. I want to move from that and talk about the organic matrix. The organic matrix is the authentic and original matrix in which we, as living entities, live in harmony with nature. Nature is like the word in Egyptian neter or neteru, which means gods, divinity. And being part of nature is understanding that we are eternal spirits. I've been saying that again and again, but I want to bring that home because I'm looking at the word mind. In actual words, it's number 22, and so is the word realm. The realm, actual words, is number 22. 22 is what? The architect. And remember the matrix, that Neo met the architect. He's the one who designed the matrix, and he destroyed it, and he said he was getting very proficient at it. And so our mind is an architect. It constructs our reality. And this is why it comes off with the master number 22 energy, because master has an etymology that means chief. It means being very skilled at something. And so we need to understand, just as in the matrix, that your mind governs everything. And the war is really in the mind. I have War for the Mind, number 76, which is a 13, number of power, equals 4. War for Land, and War for Our Soul. And both of those statements are 67, which equals 13, which equals 4. So when we talk about that there is a war for your mind, it is a war for you to determine which world do you want to inhabit. Which do you choose to be in? Do you choose to be in a lockdown of illusion, and where you have your fears magnified because you're on this Pavlovian school or karmic wheel that elicits a certain reaction from you? So you have to know what world you're in, who are the agents, who is the enemy. How are you going to, once you find out where you're at, how are you going to evolve? So that is a video for another time. I just wanted to decode, having you to thoroughly understand what the Matrix is. And I hope you have received a lot to really innate understand that when we're talking to another person, we're dealing with their spirits. We see their outer clothing of their flesh. But to elevate, we must go higher than what we see on the exoteric level of the being that we're dealing with. So thank you for watching my channel. Pt.2 and Numerologist.